Hello, Monaco. Hello, everyone. Today we have a very special guest, Nick Vallelonga. We welcome you, Nick, in Monte Carlo.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
How it happened that you are now in Monte Carlo, in this kind of, I would say, quite a dangerous condition with all these COVID restrictions? What brings you to Monaco?
I came to Monaco for the this year's the 18th annual Monte-Carlo Comedy Film Festival, hosted by Ezio Greggio.
What do you prefer personally, drama or comedy?
You know, I get asked that a lot. I think I don't prefer either one, but who doesn't like to laugh? You love to laugh, and I think during these times it's better to laugh. But great drama, that's filmmaking, art, theater, both work. You know, in drama there's some comedy, and in comedy there's a lot of drama. So they overlap. So as long as it's good material, I love both.
I would say drama is almost always the same, because I would say the people crying by the same reasons in all over the world.
Yes.
But laughing and sense of humor is depends on like country, nationality, traditions, a lot of things.
And I think a good comedy could make everyone laugh. But you need an audience. It was nice to see an audience laughing again together in a movie theater. So that was interesting, because some things are not funny. You don't know if they're going to get it, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
But in that case, it worked very, very nice. And this is a comedy festival, and I think people enjoyed the films, and people need to laugh now. So it was nice. What we've all been going through, the world sharing this COVID, I think everyone wants to escape. So I think comedies are going to come back very big.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of people really got depressed this year because
Yes.
of we are we are separated, we were staying at home, there is no movie, no cinema, no theater, nothing,
Right.
no entertainment, and people need some, some light, some
Yes,
sun.
absolutely,
Yeah,
yes.
it's true. Actually, Nick, you came from the acting family because your father was an actor also.
Yes, my father, if you saw the movie Green Book, he wasn't always an actor. He was did lots of different jobs. He bounced around. He was a bouncer. He was a maitre d'. He ran restaurants. He ran some hotels. We owned a pizzeria growing up. But when he was working at the Copacabana nightclub in New York City, was during the time they were doing The Godfather. And the director and the casting people were there at the Copa. They saw my father, mm-hmm. and they said, "You have to be in this movie, The Godfather." And they said, "Are you an actor?" And he said, "Oh, yes, mm-hmm. But he was not. That was my father. Yeah, of course I'm an actor." So they put him in the movie, and they said, "Do you have children? We need kids for this wedding scene, a big wedding scene." If you remember at the beginning of The Godfather. So my brother and I screen tested. I was, I think, 11 or 12 something, mm-hmm. and my brother was 8 or 9. And then I was in the wedding scenes of The Godfather too. But my father, that was his first movie, and then people saw him, started asking him to be in more movies. So then he becomes an actor, and he ended up with a very big role on The Sopranos TV series. He played Carmine Lupitazzi, who was the New York Don, the Don of New York City on The Sopranos. So it was he had quite a fun time, and all of a sudden he was an actor.
Can I say that as Ford Coppola was your godfather in the movie industry?
Absolutely, Francis Ford Coppola, amazing. To be in that movie, The Godfather, it was the first time. I loved movies anyway, and then to see how a movie was made with the lights, with the cameras. I was sitting at a wall, and all of a sudden they take the wall away. I said, how could that be? It's fake. So I was fascinated by everything and how they made the movie. And actually, I was running around wherever the camera was. I'd be like, trying to be in front of the camera, this camera. Then I'd walk. So after a couple days, they grabbed me. They brought me to Francis Ford Coppola. And he said, "You may not understand this, but I watch every day what we film. Mm-hmm. I see you more than I see anyone. You're always where the camera is." He goes, You can't be over here and then be over there at the same time. He said, so today, I need you behind the camera. And they actually got me a chair. He goes, I want you to sit next to me so I know where you are. And they got me a director's chair to sit next to Francis Ford Coppola when he's directing the movie. Well, that's how I fell in love with it, and that's how I always wanted to make movies. So, yes, I owe a lot to Francis Ford Coppola.
What do you think if I say that maybe Donald Shirley was who brought your father into the movie industry? Because his life changed a lot since they met each other.
Yes, very interesting. But my father was, I can make 10 movies about my father. There are things I didn't put in that movie. But my father was a dancer. He was champion dancer when he was young. 2 girls at a time, flipping them around. He was a hairdresser. After he came out of the army, he becomes a hairdresser for the Rockettes in Radio City Music Hall. So he had artistic, he was a big thug, you know, this big guy, maybe like me, you'd think, but he had much artistic
Soul, yeah?
soul, yes. So, but he went back to work at the Côte after the time with Donald Shirley, and it was a few years later that they met him for The Godfather. So he had it in him. He at times wanted to think he wanted to be an actor, but he thought, oh, I could never do this. And then when they asked him to be in The Godfather, he loved it too, and then he started to pursue, and he had lots of roles with Martin Scorsese.
You were just 5 years old when this, I would say, famous meeting between your father, Tony Leap, and Donald Shirley happened.
Yes.
And but why it take you so long time to make this movie?
Well, there's a bunch of reasons why. I always wanted to do it, and when I got old enough to start taping my father telling me the stories, he said, well, if you're really going to do this, you have to speak to Donald Shirley. Mm-hmm. So I started speaking to him, and he was very generous telling me, but he didn't want, there were a couple things he didn't want. He didn't want it to be about his life. He only wanted to give me the information about his time with my father. Because a lot of people would say, oh, why isn't the movie more about him? But that's not what he wanted. So I had to listen to what he asked me to do. So he also said, I don't want this story told while I'm still alive. Mm-hmm. So whenever it may be, you tell it afterwards. And there might be several reasons about that. So I respected what he asked. And so I had to wait.
Because you can do better, Mr. Vallelonga. What do we do about the bones?
2 men from absolutely different cultural background, even like have a different color of the skin, you know. And I would say one was a virtuoso pianist, another one was just a driver, yeah. And how they really might have the relationship, friendly relationship, and you were criticized by it, yeah.
Yes. A lot of criticism about it, but you know, people don't understand things, you know, and if there were some things I couldn't say and couldn't do because Don Shirley asked me, no. This movie was not meant to change the world. It was a simple story about my father, but it took on a deeper meaning because as the film is very powerful and it affects people. We made it with the best intentions from our hearts to make a nice story and to show people this is a little slice of life. It's a little story about 2 people just talking. Because if you break that movie down, it's 2 people sitting in a car talking. A lot of people said, no one's ever going to watch this movie. It's not a movie. They talk in a car. But they talk about a lot of good things, and they affected each other's lives. Especially my father's life was really, really changed by it.
But do you think that the issues, questions which was raised in this movie is still relevant now?
Yes. So, you know, in an odd way, that's sad that some of it still is occurring. Mm-hmm. But I think it also, for people that say it's bad now, mm-hmm. it was worse then. So there's still work to be done, and people still need to move forward, and we still need to change and fix things. But it was about showing Donald Shirley's courage, the man that he was. He didn't have to go down there. He could have stayed in New York. He was playing for rich people. Bing, bing, bing. They have a champagne. He was doing very well, but he put himself through that because he felt it was important to do that by showing how art and him as an artist, that it could reach people and you make change. And my father's side of that story was first he just went for a job, but it was a life-changing experience. So many people said, African-American people that came up to me afterwards, all of us, and said, I didn't know that it happened. I didn't know there was a green book. I didn't know that they could not go eat here. You know, all the issues that were raised in the film, some people knew, but some people didn't. So it brought it up again in the light to say, hey, listen, this has been an issue for a long time. It was happening then. There's some things still happening now. But to us, Pete Farley, director, would say the movie's about hope.
It looks like that your father's career, your father's life is really American dream. For the Donald Shirley, that was not an American dream, because even if he was very well known, I would say, virtuoso pianist, perform in Carnegie Hall, live on the top of Carnegie Hall in a very luxurious apartment.
Yes.
Finally, he did not. He had all this kind of, I would say, racism issue during his whole life.
Yes.
That means that is like a two different story.
So he achieved a lot, but he also dealt with a lot. But also he enjoyed success as an artist.
The man who has a personal number of Kennedy and at the same time not allowed to go to eat with white people in the same place.
It's crazy.
It's a crazy situation,
it. Yes. So it was unbelievable to me that he couldn't go to the hotel, or he's playing in a place and he can't eat. When my father would tell me these stories, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, I think that's why there was a truly relationship, truly friendly. They were truly friends, because when the Donald Shirley saw that your father can even give his life for him,
Yes.
even if they're different colors and different background, different people. Yeah?
Yes.
That's what makes the friendship real.
Yes. It's one of those things like army buddies, or once you go through an experience like that, you're connected forever.
And the Oscar goes to
Nick
Vallelonga, Brian Carter, and Peter Farley for Green Book.
This is an amazing room of filmmakers. Embrace ourselves and love each other. Thank you all, my mother and father, Dad, we did it.
How did you feel when you received this prize? What does it mean for you?
I never thought about, I must win this. It was just nice to be it. Winning, it was amazing. Now I think about it now, and I'm glad that the film did that, because I think everyone worked so hard, and I think it touched so many people. My goal was not, I must win an Academy Award. My goal was to work. This is what I love to do. If I can work, I'm happy. Yeah,
there was a very special moment during the award ceremony at the Comedy Festival. Yeah, from the stage you thanked Chess Palminteri, and you even cried, yeah?
What happened to Chaz happened to 3 people, maybe, ever. It choked me up, because I said, well, here I am giving an award to Chaz on a stage when he inspired me so much. So I got emotional. I get emotional once. I'm Italian. I get a little emotional.
And I should ask you about your future plans. What are you working on now? If you can a little bit reveal this, your new project.
I wrote a pilot for a possible mini-series for Mediaset in Italy about the Italian-American gangster Lucky Luciano, Charles Lucky Luciano. So that is in the works. The pilot's been written. The episodes have been outlined. So I think possibly we do that in 2022. It's a big It's a big movie, 60 years. So the scope is huge, and there's a lot happening. World War II, and gangsters in New York, and in Italy, and Sicily, and the war. There's much happening. So it's big. So they're discussing how to put that together. I have something with George Gallo and Chaz Palminteri, remake of The Pope of Greenwich Village, which was a big film with Mickey Rourke and Eric Roberts. It was an amazing book by Vincent Patrick, so we're going to follow more of the book and the film, but the book, and that might be done as a mini-series.
What does it mean for you, Monaco? How do you describe it?
Oh, it's everything you think and hear about all the years. You know, it's a magical place. Very magical. And you know, I remember growing up in Grace Kelly and Monaco and the Grand Prix, and so to actually be here, it doesn't let you down. Let's put it that way. It's as good as you dream that it is. So it's quite an honor to be here. I got to meet the Prince last time I was here. Amazing man, very courteous, very nice, welcoming. You can understand why this country and Monte Carlo, why people want to come. Amazing place.
Wishing you the big success for all your new projects.
Thank you very much.
And I hope we will see you very soon in Monte Carlo again.
Yes, I mean, who doesn't want to come to Monte Carlo? It's beautiful. And thank you for having me here. This was fantastic.